So we kid ourselves into thinking that we are finally getting on top of things, and then boom, the print apocalypse happens, and everything about printing has now changed, and it is a complete disaster, and we have to learn to get on top of it all over again.
Hello, and welcome to Behind the Screens, IT at ND, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of the IT solutions consultants at the University of Notre Dame.
Here we explore the challenges they face, the innovative solutions they provide, and the tips and tricks that can help you make the most out of your technology. I'm Deanna, IT support technician with the service desk.
And I'm Scooter, Director of Information Technology for the College of Arts and Letters. We're thrilled to have you with us today.
Who keeps campus moving every day? Who helps technology lead the way? From classrooms filled with bright new dreams to every login in between. Every challenge, every call, working together, giving our all. There's a story behind every screen. Now you'll hear what it really means. Behind the screens, that's where we'll be. Meeting the people behind IT. Stories, insight, laughs, and dreams. Innovation fuels our team. Come along, take a look inside. See the people who power Irish pride. Welcome, friends. Come join the scene. This is Behind the Screens.
Our guests today are Hannah Elliott and Mike Voss, managers of the service desk and part of the client experience group over in OIT. Welcome to both of you. Before we start, could you tell us a little bit about your current role and the journey that brought you here? How long have you been with the university, and how and when did you move into your current role? Mike, why don't we start with you?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, just thank you for having us on the podcast today. It's an honor to be here. Huge fan of the Behind the Screens podcast. So shout out to Deanna, Andy, and Scooter. But yes, my name is Mike Voss. I've been with the university for 10 years now. I started out as an IT technician, moved over to the main building to provide IT executive support in the enrollment division, and then decided I wanted to move over to get some more experience in the finance division with the procurement services team, where I managed our IT hardware and software contracts, as well as the purchases for IT across campus. After doing that for 5 years and getting that experience, I missed the OIT family and getting back to my roots, and wanted to get into leadership based off some great mentors that I had throughout my career. And so I joined with Kristen Morin as the manager of the IT partnerships Blue Team, managing IT consultants. I did that for 2 years and then had the opportunity to join the service desk most recently as the manager with the new services and the scaling that was happening with that team.
Excellent. And Hannah, you're one of our newest managers in OIT. Tell us a little about your background and what brought you to Notre Dame.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have been now with OIT for the last 6 months. Time really does fly. I feel like just yesterday was my first day on campus, to be honest. I actually come from a background of carpentry. I was a carpenter for many years before I decided to go back to school and get a degree in business administration. And that kind of really led to my newfound passions in life and changed my entire trajectory of like my life and my career. And Notre Dame became more of just a landing place for me and became a home for me. So both myself and my partner and my son, we're all Notre Dame crazy people. We love it here. And I am so happy to be a part of the service desk team in particular. I really love everyone that I get to interact with on a daily basis and love being a part of this goofy team.
Awesome. Well, we're glad you're here. We're glad to have you as a part of the team. I know Mike's probably pretty glad to have a partner in crime over there. So we, funnily enough, we featured the service desk on one of our earliest episodes. Gosh, almost 2 years ago now? We had Chris Gillis on, and he was talking to us about some of the preparations that were going on with the changes to the service desk. So here we are, a year and a half or 2 years into it, and a lot has changed. A lot of those changes that were coming soon have now come. What's different today compared to when we last talked about the service desk? Mike, maybe you've got some insights here.
Absolutely. So there's actually a lot that's changed since the last podcast. And We officially rebranded as the service desk, so we launched that out to all of campus. And as we've done that, we've continued to grow our team, both scaling the team itself and the services that we are offering for all of campus. With that, we've also scaled up just the training that we're providing for our IT technicians here at the service desk, and making sure that they have knowledge of all the different things that we do here. So again, before we were traditional help desk, now we are the service desk, which we'll get into a little bit later and what that means. But essentially, all of our team is trained on all different aspects of what we offer. So that's our traditional phones, which is our frontline support, backline support, imaging, and helping folks out up front. And really just looking to bring IT support to all different corners of campus. With that, we also have spun up a couple new partnerships across campus, which again, we'll get into a little bit, hopefully, with Mendoza, College of Business, the Hesburgh Library, and most recently, Procurement Services. With all of that, as we mentioned before, I'm most excited about having Hannah join our team as a co-manager with the service desk as well. So lots of things have happened.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So, I mean, Mike, you just described how the service desk has evolved in the past year, 2 years. But many people still think of this place, this team, as simply the people that you call when your password doesn't work. So can you, Hannah or Mike, talk about how that perception has changed over the years? And yeah, I'm just curious about that.
Absolutely, yes. So again, we are no longer just a traditional help desk. And shout out to Denise Mosier, who did this for over 20 years and really building and setting up this foundation for us. So we really just wanted to build upon that. And we're still working on this. And it's definitely a goal that we want to make sure that campus understands that we're here for so much more than that. But super proud of the team and the way that we've scaled our services, really becoming the front door for all of IT. We're really working hard to become that one-stop shop for all Tier 1 support. So that includes CWP imaging, installations, frontline support for various IT at ND initiatives, security and AI projects across the board. And as I mentioned, now that we're starting to develop different partnerships across different colleges and departments on campus, we're also becoming a little bit more embedded with those areas and allowing the IT consultants to consult so that we can take care of all that Tier 1 support. So super proud of the team and all the different ways that we've scaled up and all that we do. And
can you elaborate more on what a modern university service desk does today that people may not realize? Like just really place a distinction between a traditional help desk and a service desk like we are today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's just making sure that our customers don't just have to navigate the org chart if they just need help and they need support. So really, it's just taking that support to campus and trying to meet customers where they're at. So that goes for students, faculty, and staff. So again, making sure that we are not just a location here in DeBartolo Hall, but that we can scale our IT support across all of campus to meet people for the needs that they have and to further support the different initiatives that are happening across campus.
Hannah, shifting it to you, can you talk about what some of the biggest changes in technology have been, including user expectations that have changed how the team operates?
Yeah, so one of the really tricky things about technology and running a service desk is that it changes every single day. So we kid ourselves into thinking that we are finally getting on top of things, and then boom, the print apocalypse happens, and everything about printing has now changed, and it is a complete disaster, and we have to learn to get on top of it all over again. And so just having to be on top of all the technological changes all the time is something that can really be difficult to constantly stay ahead of. But there are some really big things in technology that are just kind of those like big names right now. So obviously AI, right? AI is everywhere. And so with AI, we are trying to figure out what AI looks like in the service desk, and how can we use AI to really mitigate those like mundane tasks that we have to go through in our day-to-day work, so that it frees up the mental space and mental capacity for our team to be able to work on those partnerships around campus or building community around campus, so that we can do more of those pieces that are more about building more and more community across campus, rather than just doing those mundane break fix things. There's also a uptick in security concerns. Again, as AI continues to develop, we are becoming more concerned with security threats because of the ways in which people are able to use AI against us. We have to be able to combat that. And so always having to stay kind of on your toes with the things that could be used against us, always having to stay on your toes with the things that could be used for us. It's a difficult game. It is really, really tough.
So let's talk a little bit about this relatively new division of the service desk. Mike, you talked about how the rebranding of the service desk, the expansion of services, but one of the key pieces that I see from the outside looking in is this new split into I think you're referring to as operations versus field services. Can you tell us about what drove the decision to kind of make that split and what the difference between those two teams is?
Yes. So as we continue to scale our services and with the growth with our team, and again, with the partnerships that we were adding to our stack, um, our team started to get pretty large, both on the full-time staff and as well as our IT assistants, to the point where we were getting close to about 30 people. And again, that number ebbs and flows, and especially more on the IT assistant side. But then again, all the different services that we are responsible for now. I think it started to become pretty apparent that we were not able to sustain that with one person, myself, trying to oversee all of that and making sure that each one of those different buckets were successful, and all of our staff members, right, having the appropriate amount of time and support to be successful. So as we started to realize with that growth, kudos to Chris Gillis. I think he had a great vision as far as making sure that we were still the one team, a service desk to all of campus, but really splitting that workload up behind the scenes. Again, going back to what I said earlier about our customers shouldn't have to navigate the org chart to get help, right? So they just having that ability to call the service desk. But behind the scenes, we are able to put some different things in place to make sure that we can split that workload up, to make sure that we're covering all the different areas that we do support. So that's what led to operations and field services. And again, our team is trained on both sides of the house, actually. So we make sure that that's one thing that we're super proud of the team, is that they're able to pivot as we need to. And so we have an internal schedule that we are working through to make sure that we're still adhering to what's most important, is still being that one team, the service desk, but splitting that workload up into field services and operations.
So why don't you tell me a little more about field services? What activities will they be doing? What's the impact that you hope it'll have? Just what do they do?
So really thinking about bringing IT support to anything that is outside of DeBartolo Hall. So now we're able to meet customers again where they're at. And the various things that we're doing is classroom room checks, AV support, CWP installations, printer support. Now we're moving into a new project with asset remediation, making sure that all of our devices are compliant and secure. And really working with different initiatives across campus where we can bring that support to the end users.
And so what do you think, I know this whole notion of field services and this in the field support is a relatively new one for the service desk. What do you think that's going to feel like, say, a year from now? How will that be incorporated into the overall IT culture and our customer culture?
Yeah, so what I really hope to see is that we kind of change the kind of historical culture here at Notre Dame, where we have these embedded IT consultants and embedded IT support, in the different colleges, in the different departments, but starting to really pivot on that and think of the service desk first. So when you need IT support or you're having an IT issue, that you pick up the phone or you send us a chat, or stop by and see us in person. So really just kind of changing that culture that they think of us first, that we can come to you. And again, bringing that support and doing it in different ways. It's just not the traditional way of getting IT support. And I would also say just continuing to scale our services and our partnerships across campus, and really potentially getting into some of the other colleges where we can be successful there. And most recently, really thinking about how do we become more engaged with our global locations. I know that's been super important, all the way up through our president, talking about how we want to be a leading, best-in-class organization in the world. And I think that can start with us too, from an IT perspective, right? That we are there for them too, getting creative and making sure that they feel included in this support.
Great. Yeah, I know that there's a lot of attention being given to all the global gateways and things, and I'm really glad to see now the service desk taking that up. I've had a lot of interactions with Corey before she retired about, the all of the work that Global and Indie Global was doing. So I think it's great that they're getting a lot of love and attention now, especially as those programs grow even further. So Hannah, let's turn to you for a second. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the operations team? So what makes it different from the things that we've heard Mike talking about? Maybe what makes it different from what it was or what it could have been, or what's operations about now?
Yeah, so operations is really just like the set of tasks that you're doing, right? So like operations versus field services is not necessarily the people doing the things, but like the things itself that are being done. So anything outside of our office space, your field services, anything inside, you're doing operational stuff. So we've got our CWP program across campus. And so everyone who has a machine provided for their role is managed by our CWP program. So we have to image all of those machines and deploy them. So we have a team that works on imaging those machines. And then when they come to the end of their life, we have to decommission those machines. And so retire them correctly and take care of them, make sure that everything is in compliance. We also are answering phones and emails and chats and things like that. And so we have people who come in for walk-up support to our front desk as well. And so we constantly have people and activities and things coming in and out of the service desk. And that's kind of what operations is in a nutshell. So we're all kind of close-knit and packed together at DeBartolo. And it's kind of funny because we also have a part of our team over at the ITC as well. So we're separated into two different locations every day, and we try and mix our teams together so that everyone gets to work with everyone else as much as possible. And so we have a little bit of field services and a little bit of operations going out of each location, and trying to make the best of a tricky situation because our team is so large that we can't all fit in one space.
So I really like what I'm hearing about, the mixing, like you're talking about, whether it's physically mixing, geographically mixing, but also the fact that the entire team is doing the entire work, that they're both the operations side and they're the field services side. I have to imagine that's creating a lot more opportunity for the people that you hire. What are you seeing in those regards?
Yeah. So what is really awesome is that people get an opportunity to find things that they have a natural affinity towards. They have an opportunity to try things out. They have an opportunity to have partnerships and collaborations with different groups on campus. And so whether you are being asked to sit in for an interview panel with a different group in OIT, or whether you're being asked to help write a knowledge base article for a specific task that we're doing with the service desk, it really gives you an opportunity to kind of dip your toes in a lot of different areas on campus. And it's so wonderful because you are not just in this information silo where you're only doing your own job and you're only stuck in this one place on campus. You're getting a taste and a feel for everything on campus, which is so unique to the service desk. We truly are everywhere on campus. We are all over the place, and it's one of the few areas on campus that really can say that we are all over the place. And it makes for interesting work days, to say the least. There is no such thing as a boring day at the service desk.
Awesome. I might add to that list of activities. You might become a co-host on a podcast. Is that right, Deanna?
You just let me know
Yes.
whenever you need a co-host.
All right. So my last question kind of in this space is, even though you're leading different teams, or, I understand people are sort of fluxing back and forth, how do operations and field services complement each other? And I guess I want to hear that sort of two different ways. One is just sort of in the big abstract, how do they sort of work together, but also day to day, what are the interactions between the two sides of the house?
Well, there's not one without the other. So one would not exist without the other. One would not be able to do the work without the other. And so it's basically a horse without a saddle, or a saddle without a horse. It's the neither are very effective without the other. And so what's great is that even though we are technically parts of two different teams, we're still just one team. So we make sure that that is known by still having our daily stand-up meetings, where we try and make sure everyone knows what it is that we're doing for that day, and we're trying to collaborate together and make sure we're all on the same page. We try and keep an open line of communication through our Slack channel. We try and make sure that during times when, the workload is tough and people are feeling bogged down, we are taking time during our work week to connect with one another. We played Pictionary 2 weeks ago. And so just taking those moments to make sure that we are staying connected as a team and really relying on one another, because ultimately we really are just one team. And so we never let there be a truly divisive factor between us.
And I think having what I mentioned earlier is that our team has been trained on both sides of the house. It's so great when we have different initiatives happening on campus, or if we have another printer apocalypse, that we can pivot and scale where we need to. And so to Hannah's point, we're constantly communicating with each other throughout the day in our Slack channel, and everyone's aware of all the work that's happening, regardless of what role you are responsible for that day.
And if I could add something to that as a fellow team member of said team, it is pretty impressive. Like, yeah, it can be pretty exhausting during the day because it's so busy and we're always kind of tied up. But the times that I've kind of taken a step back and thought about how we've evolved and all the things we're doing now and things we're now capable of, it's really impressive that we each have the capability to do everything on operations and everything on field services. And despite your role, if someone needs help on one side, like if I'm field services and someone needs help on phones, I can immediately jump in. And this goes for every single task that the service desk does. So it really is it's very impressive, and it's reassuring and comforting to know that any of your team members can do this. Even our IT assistants are really good at this, and they're constantly being trained up. So it feels pretty special, and it's definitely something to be proud of.
That's really cool. And I have to imagine that, this time of year, we're doing this recording just about 2 weeks before back to school, that as you're prepping for back to school, that this is going to give you a lot more flexibility in terms of who can help where, and even in sort of daily operations of being able to say, okay, yesterday this catastrophe happened, so I need more people to float over in this direction, or float back the other direction. I mean, is it changing the way that you're approaching back to school? Mike, you've done this a few times now. Is it changing your perspective on BTS?
Well, certainly, I think it's just giving us a little more peace of mind, knowing that we have this great support and that we have the ability to have people in the right places at the right time. So again, I think just going into this, we have scaled up and have trained even our IT assistants to do a lot of the things that our full-time staff have done, so that again, as the volumes increase, if we're getting slammed on phones, if we're getting slammed up front with walk-ups, our team is ready to do that. And so I think it's just we feel really well positioned going into this year, knowing what's coming, and that we're going to be able to take it on with no problem.
Okay, let's talk about some partnerships. Well, there's one that we'd really like to talk about, which has been pretty successful, I believe. And that's the partnership with Mendoza. So, Mike, can you talk about how this partnership started, how it's evolved, and maybe where it's going and the things that we've started doing for Mendoza?
Yes, thank you, Deanna. So again, kudos to the leadership teams with both IT at ND, the OIT, and the Mendoza College of Business. I don't think these partnerships happen or can even be successful without great leadership and both parties coming together, right, to achieve a common goal. So I do know that there was a ton of planning and a lot of meetings and discussions of what this could look like. And we wanted to make sure that we took the time to do that, to try to think of all the different areas that things that would come up throughout this, again, to make sure that we were successful. So with that, we are extending our pilot and continuing that partnership with Mendoza College of Business. And what that means is we're taking on all of their tier one support for the college. We are now doing all of their CWP installations, which have not happened in the past, and also doing their classroom room checks as well. So again, I think it's freeing up the time for the team over there to really focus on true consulting and helping the faculty with their research and their different initiatives and the school's OKRs. And again, making sure that we're taking on all of that tier one support for that group. In addition to the classroom room checks, we have also started taking on the support for the EMBA programs that happen on Saturdays throughout the fall and spring semesters. And so what that looks like is we have a service desk representative that is present on Saturdays throughout the programs and the classes that are happening over there, just to make sure that they are having a smooth experience and that we're answering any IT questions that might happen that day or any AV support that could happen as well. Traditionally, this was the responsibility of the Mendoza IT team. And so I think just taking this off of their plate, bringing it over to the service desk, and it's another opportunity, right, for some of our newer folks, our IT assistants, to get exposure to a different spot on campus and to different folks and seeing different technology. So I think it's been really great.
So the two of you are now co-leading what many of us consider to be the front door to IT on campus. How are you each approaching leadership differently since it's a co-lead now or co-management instead of just one person leading that organization? Hannah, why don't we start with you?
Well, I think I'll speak for Mike and I both that we're doing it with a sigh of great relief to have
Indeed.
more than one person taking all of that on. But I actually don't think that this is different to leading than just one person because I would venture to assume that prior to my coming onto the team, it was a collaborative lead with Chris Gillis and Mike, and the two of them really working together with the other wonderful leaders that we have in the client experience team, along with some of our really seasoned members of our service desk team. So I feel like just bringing on another manager was just, oh my gosh, thank goodness we finally have some help. But really, Notre Dame has always been really big on collaboration. And so I think that that's just going to keep continuing.
Yeah, and Mike, besides just oh, thank God somebody else is here, what do you see as some of the other advantages to having, a co-manager of the team?
Well, I'm certainly sleeping better at night. So yes, I'm definitely glad to have Hannah here in so many ways. She's just been a great blessing to me personally. We always joke about that she was hired to actually help me personally more than professionally.
Good job, Hannah.
For this last year and a half. But no, all jokes aside, I think it's just been really great to have another thought partner. Again, we just have so many new services and projects and ideas that oftentimes, again, that I would just have in my own head or by myself. And of course, could always, ask for help with that with Chris. But just having Hannah right there every single day, just understanding all the work that we do and all the places that we need to be, I think it just makes me so much more stronger, but also the team as well.
Excellent. And so to that, what do you think, which strengths are each of you bringing to sort of this partnership? I mean, do you manage differently? Do you think about what you're doing? I mean, it's great to have a cohesive vision of the leadership that you're doing, but certainly your individual strengths are probably different. What are some things that stand out for each of you? Let's stay with Mike for a second.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think in the best way possible, I think we're very different people and have different really approaches to work and how we think and how we do, which is such a great thing for the team and for the service desk. And I think Hannah certainly again has brought just a great positive energy to this team. I love her thought process. She's just a brilliant person. That really has helped help us think differently, right? I mean, the one thing is I've been here, as I mentioned before, for 10 years, right? And so sometimes we kind of, I don't want to say get stuck in our ways, but it's just like this is how we've been doing things, very familiar with all of that. And I just love the way that Hannah's come in and just, questions things and just why are we doing it this way or can we do it a different way? So I think it's been really great to help approach things in a whole different way in that regard. So it's been really great.
Wonderful. Hannah, any other thoughts there?
Yeah, I cannot say enough good things about Mike. The way that he leads is something that I have never seen before. Mike leads with his entire heart, and he is someone that I am incredibly proud to work alongside. So not only does he care about each and every single person who walks in the door, but he cares to a degree that I have never seen anyone care before. And he wants to make not only every single person feel good, but he wants to make something great out of the place that we work into. So it's not just the people, but it's also like the mission that he believes in. And so every decision that he makes ultimately reflects that. And to work with someone who's so motivated in that way, like motivates the people around him. And so I think that that is his biggest strength for sure, that he just creates this entire environment that motivates people to want to make the service desk as wonderful as he thinks it is in his mind.
Oh my gosh, man, the two of you I'm like sold. I want to come over and work on the service desk now.
You should. It's a great
Not
place to
sounds
work.
like you guys are
I'm not
just
tearing up.
yeah,
You're not
that's
allowed.
awesome. That's fabulous.
Okay. Let's talk about how we've supported campus, things that we're proud of, things we could do better, things we're doing differently. So, Mike, I'd like to start with you. If we take a look back over the past year, what are you most proud of that the service desk has done?
Well, there's many, many things that I'm proud of this team, Deanna. And really, at the end of the day, it's really just the team's resiliency that they've shown over this past year and a half, really, since I've been in this role. It's just the way that the team continues to show up. We've really, again, there's a lot of excitement around this growth. There's a lot of excitement around how we're scaling and the new services. But at the end of the day, they're still people, right? The team, the service desk, they're still human beings. And so really just making sure that we're taking good care of the team. But again, just proud of the way that we've taken on the different changes, the new partnerships that we've rolled out, and really just the different initiatives that have happened across campus. I would say one of the biggest projects that happened most recently was this summer with the SMS multi-factor changes that have happened where we've removed text messages as a way to authenticate. And you'd be surprised at how many people across campus had that as their sole way to authenticate. And so again, this was an important initiative that we wanted to take care of and participate in. But at the same time, the volume that came through to our service desk, on top of already the calls and the normal volume that we get, it was a lot. And in summertime, we never really truly slow down. I think people think that, with students not being here and faculty, that it's just that we're just kind of sitting over here doing nothing. It just never stopped. I mean, we just continued to go right through the summer and continuing to help our customers across that. So again, just super, super proud of this team for showing up for each other, showing up every day, just being kind to each other. And even when the days get really hard and really difficult, we're still somehow find a way to have fun and just have each other's backs. So I love this team and I love being here.
We love you, Mike. What about challenges? Hannah, what do you think one of the biggest challenges has been that we've overcome?
I think that since the time that I've been here, the biggest challenge that we have faced as a team has been the place in which we have been working. So I mentioned earlier that we have been divided between the two locations. We have half of our team in DeBartolo and half of our team in the ITC. And while it is nice to have space to actually be able to do our work and not be kind of tripping all over each other, it is also very difficult. It's difficult to maintain relationships with one another. It's difficult for that transfer of information because, as I also said, things are changing every single day. And so when that update comes and you're not in the right room with the right people to hear about it, it may be 2 weeks too late and you may not have ever heard. And so it is a consistent challenge. And it is something that every single week something comes up where it's like, man, it would be so nice if we were all together in the same space. And so one of the things that is huge for our team is just to keep that positive outlook and to keep trying to find ways to connect with one another, even though that is something that we can't fix, right? We can't tear down walls, even though we all wish we could. I've had to stop Deanna from coming to work with a sledgehammer before, but we are all trying our best, and it's something that is becoming more and more manageable as we get more used to it. And we are trying to find better ways to organize our time and organize our schedules. And I'm so impressed with the way that the team is working on just being flexible with the schedule, flexible with the shift, flexible with the ways in which they're communicating, and even just moving across campus, because it can be hard sometimes to move across campus 2, 3, 4 times a day. And yet, everyone is willing and able to do it to make sure that we are giving the best service possible across campus.
I love the thought of Deanna with the sledgehammer. I just have to add there that I cannot count the number of times I've had to remind people not to offer to let folks on my team do it. I said, I have a whole team of problem solvers. And if you let them, if you give them entry to mention tools or walls, or I said, it'll happen, so got to be careful.
I do not own a sledgehammer. Maybe one day.
I would buy you one just to see you come over in like a hard hat with a sledgehammer and go to work on DeBartolo.
Maybe Halloween.
When Deanna goes on to do bigger and better things, you're going to come back and donate a building for us for the service desk, and we can all be in one location.
There you go.
Don't forget about us.
I wish I had that amount of money in the future. Probably wouldn't use it to create a building here, but I don't know.
We can dream.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any new things that we're doing that maybe people aren't fully aware that we're doing? And this can be either one of you.
Yeah, so one of the big things that we're doing right now is working on decommissioning old machines across campus. So we are getting tons and tons of machines in, really, really old machines. We've seen quite a few dinosaurs come through the doors. And I mean, it's crazy, some of the things that come through the doors and they still turn on. But we are decommissioning those machines and recycling the parts and all of that because people have been using them as paperweights in old closets for a very long time and they just didn't know what to do with them. And so that is an effort that is going across campus. And so if anyone has, a water closet full of old laptops, now you know where to take them. And we are also doing CWP installs. And so that's something that we also are doing across campus all year round. So anyone who is getting a new device on campus, we make sure that they are getting to the right user, they're getting imaged for that user, and we are helping them set up for the first time. Mike, what are some other things we do?
Yes, I think one thing that's coming up is a project for asset remediation. And so we're going to be dispatching our folks out into the different colleges and departments to make sure that all the devices that we have on campus are secure and compliant. So whether that's making sure your hard drive's encrypted, that you're on the latest OS, and that your device is patched. Our team will be responsible for making sure all of that work happens. So looking forward to that.
Well, I can tell you that's a really exciting activity for us too, because being out in one of the distributed areas, this is something that in past years would have fallen completely on our slate. And we do still take care of that stuff, and we're still actively looking, but we're really looking forward to the partnership that the service desk is bringing as a big assist for that kind of activity. I think in addition to just being extra hands too, the information that you have at your fingertips to see across all of campus, to see, to maybe give me some reassurance at some point that no, A&L's not as bad as you think right now, that you can kind of see that big picture and give that to some of us that are out in these distributed areas. So I think that's a really cool perspective you're going to be able to bring to us on this project. So let's look ahead a little bit. This is one of my favorite things, is sort of future forecasting, because there are no wrong answers, right? If we were to invite you back to the podcast, say 2 years from now, what do you think the service desk will look like then? What will have changed? What do you hope will have changed? Whether it's services, whether it's the structure, I don't even know. What do you think the service desk would look like in 2 years?
Well, back to that sledgehammer. No, I am really hopeful that we are able to get more staff, actually. So as Mike was saying, with that asset remediation and bringing on more projects, just meaning also a bigger team. So we want to do more on campus. We want to be the hands and feet on campus, which means like we want to be able to take on everything, which means we'll need more people. And so hopefully we can continue to watch the service desk grow. And that would be my ultimate hope, is to see the service desk continue to grow and continue to take on more and more, so that we really can be just the one-stop shop.
So in this vision, where do you see AI fitting into the future of the service desk?
I have this really cool vision of just like robots that kind of like circle the halls in DeBartolo, and you go up and you like tap it for help. And so you use your phone as like a tap to pay kind of thing. And then it'll beep out answers to you to like reset your Okta and all of that. Just eliminate us completely.
Oh, that'd be kind of fun.
No, I'm kidding. But in all seriousness,
just so they don't look like Daleks, I mean, that could be bad PR right there.
That would be bad. You're right. But in all seriousness, I do think that AI could really be efficient in helping with the service desk for finding gaps in our knowledge base that we have. So we maintain a knowledge base of thousands of articles, so that when someone calls in, has a question for us, we will look through that if we don't immediately know the answer, to try and answer said question. But we don't know what gaps exist because, as I said, there's thousands of them. So using AI to filter through all of that information, plus filtering through closed tasks to find kind of where those gaps exist, would be one of the first ways in which I think AI would be most helpful, so that we can start working on filling in the gaps of information that we have, so that when the next time we go looking for that info, it's there and it's available. And so we are closing those tickets much faster.
Mike, are there any technologies or initiatives that you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, so as Hannah mentioned, just leveraging AI and different tools that are out there, most specifically within ServiceNow. I know that they've been working really hard in rolling out different AI tools within the platform, one of them being Now Assist. So again, finding ways to help our IT technicians just do their jobs a little bit better, a little bit quicker, and a little bit smoother. So again, this just looks like summarizing work notes within a ticket, or even leveraging it within our chat agent in ServiceNow as well. There's another tool out there called DEX, Digital End User Experience. And again, it's kind of this more proactive approach to support. So that tool will actually kind of monitor end users' computers in a way that will say, hey, I noticed that your hard drive's full. Have you thought about doing this? Or I've noticed that you're not connected to the right network. So kind of interacting with the end users in that way. But again, at the end of the day, we're always still going to need our IT technicians. We're always going to need the service desk to do that, but really just leveraging the tools out there to make it a much better experience from that perspective.
That I love that. I love that idea. And Hannah, I know you were kidding when you talked about eliminating the humans and just having the robots running around, but there is a serious question to be asked about how much can AI do for us, and what's the balance between what the humans are doing and what the bots are doing for us. And there are real questions about how much they should do, how much they can do, and what's that human versus bot interaction look like. When you think about that at the service desk, what are some things that you think absolutely must stay human versus the things that could be outsourced to a bot?
Well, I think some of it lies within the definition of service, right? We were very intentional in changing the name to service desk. We are providing a service to people. And to provide a service in and of that definition is to say that we are offering something that is more than just an answer. It's more than just, here is a definition of your problem, solution, break, fix, right? We are giving you something that technology can't just give you, right? We're giving you an experience. We are part of the client experience team, right? So we are tying all of those things together to make sure that whoever is on our campus, walks away from an experience with us feeling that they were served. We are the hands and feet of this university. We are serving this university because we want to make sure that every person who interacts with us feels served in the ways that they need to be served. And so there's certain things that, a bot could never replace, right? There's no robot in the world that's going to make you feel less infuriated when you are locked out of your email. There is no bot that's going to talk you off the ledge when you are about to throw your laptop into a shredder because you just lost your final at 11:59 p.m. But the people do that. And so we will always have people in our service desk who will be there to help. They will be there to serve.
Okay. Let's talk about behind the scenes IT at Service Desk. Can you tell us, either one of you, about a memorable Service Desk story? If it's funny, unexpected, heartwarming, something that captures what the team is about.
Yeah. So Mike and I had this lovely, and by lovely, I mean terrible meeting. One of those meetings that you feel like, my gosh, when is this ever going to end? And we were about ready to pull our hair out. And so we're sitting in Mike's office and we're absolutely lamenting, like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? This was awful, worst day ever. And we have a camera that points at our front desk so that we can watch in case any customers come in, just to make sure that our customers are being served. And Mike has the live stream of the camera up on his monitor, and all of a sudden we hear this just like hooting and hollering and yelling, and we look over to the live stream of the camera, and there is one of our IT assistants literally thrusting his fist into the air, jumping with joy, and a customer on the other side of the counter jumping with joy because they had been struggling with, I don't even know what, but something on the computer was driving both of them to madness, and they had figured it out together. And so you have the two of them standing there, just fists in the air. They're about to hug each other, I swear. And Mike and I just look at each other and we're like, yeah, that's what this is all about. Like, that's the moment right there. And that's really what it is at the service desk. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of day you're having or, what print apocalypse happens, like that. Those are the moments that we really do strive for, when we are able to fix the thing that's bothering you, when we have the answer just that one time, and that is all it takes, is one fist bump.
So I have to ask, you both mentioned the print apocalypse a couple of times here. Does Bruce Carter know that you refer to it as that? I know he's one of the folks that's taken the lead on getting all this stuff solved.
I don't know, but I hope he doesn't take it personal because it's not about him.
I think he needs to know. All right. Deanna,
Okay.
is
Oh,
it
sorry.
time for Consultant Quirks?
Yes, it is.
Yay!
It's time for Consultant Quirks, where we ask our guests a few fun rapid-fire questions. It's been a behind the screens tradition where if we have a couple of guests on, they choose each other's questions to ask each other. So these are the questions that Mike chose for Hannah. The first is, what book would you recommend everyone read and why?
There's this book called When Breath Becomes Air, and it's a very sad book, but it's a memoir of a neurosurgeon who is diagnosed with brain cancer, and he ends up passing away. But it's a look at his entire life and what it means to live a life that is worth living. And gosh, it got me right in the heart, but it is so worth reading and reflecting on what it means to live life to the fullest.
Yeah, that's a really good book. I definitely sobbed at the end. I
Yeah,
think the
like a
author's
baby.
yeah,
Yeah.
Paul Kalanithi. I'm probably butchering the last name, but he's from
Yeah.
Arizona, so that was pretty cool. Okay, what song best describes your work style?
What's Up by Four Non-Blondes.
Do you want to sing it? I don't know
I
how
don't
that
know.
goes.
Yeah.
I am not singing it.
Oh, you don't have to sing.
Not while I'm
He
being
has a voice of an
recorded.
angel.
Is this new pop? I mean, here's the 50-year-old asking about, oh, what kind of music are you kids listening to these days?
No, Four Non-Blondes is like from the 80s.
Okay.
90s, 90s.
Okay.
Ooh, it's bad that I don't know. But I have this video of Caden. So I have a 12-year-old son, and he is like 4 in this video and absolutely tone deaf. And he's playing with his like cars. And I guess I had listened to this song so many times. So he's got his little Hot Wheels lined up and he's going, and I said, hey! And he's like banging them together. What's going on? Just like, and so he's singing the song and banging the cars together. And I was like, yeah, that right there describes my work style.
Okay, and now Hannah asking Mike these questions. If you could swap jobs with anyone for a day, who would it be?
Oh, this is a tough one. I think most recently I've gotten into Formula One over the last 5 years, and I always just thought it'd be super cool to be a Formula One driver. These guys are going 200 miles per hour around a track that's usually in some of the most iconic cities across the world. So every weekend they have a race at a different location in some of the most beautiful places in the world. So I think it'd be fun to go really fast. Well, you might not be able to see the scenery, but maybe after the race.
I say the scenery's flying by at about 200 miles an hour. You're probably
There are experiences you can buy that let you drive these like race cars that you should look into maybe.
Maybe you should tell that to my wife, Jess.
What is your tech pet peeve?
Ooh. I hope I don't offend anyone by saying this, but when we are in technology and we're supporting various people across campus, at times it's really difficult when you look down at their laptop when you have to maybe type something or engage with their laptop and you see that it looks like they literally just ate their lunch over the laptop. So to me, it's just interacting with gross laptops from our customers. So I just kindly ask for our own people here at the service desk to take a few minutes to wipe your screens and keyboards before getting help.
Yep.
All right. How about we keep the fun going here with the Did You Know Tech Edition Trivia Challenge? You guys ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
All right, just a quick recap on how this works. I get to quiz both the guest and the host with a question that nobody knew prior to this recording, and we get to see who is dialed in or who might need a little bit more screen time. Points are rewarded for every correct answer. I only get points if nobody answers correctly. Currently, the scoreboard stands as the guests are in the lead with 13 points,
Nice.
followed closely behind by Scooter with 12 points. Deanna's trailing, but not too far away with 7 points. And I have 2 points. So there's been 2 times that nobody's got the correct answer, and I'm hoping for a third.
We got to keep him down.
So today's question, I am going to list a collection of things, and then you guys will have to identify what year they debuted.
Oh,
So
man.
it's going to be a collection of things, and I'll give you multiple choice for what year these debuted, and then we'll go around the horn one at a time to see what you guys lock in. So, what year did Google Chrome, Spotify, the Apple App Store, and the first commercial Android phone all arrive? Was it A, 2006? Was it B, 2007? Was it C, 2008? Or was it D, 2009?
Oh. I was kind of hoping they'd be like 5 or 10 years apart.
Yeah.
So once again, that's Google Chrome, Spotify, Apple's App Store, and the first commercial Android phone. What year?
I'm going to go with 2009.
Mike's locking in D, 2009.
I'm locking in A, 2006.
Hannah's going 2006.
I think I'll do B, 2007.
2007 for Scooter.
I'm trying to think of when the iPhone came out, because it probably had an app store. I just remember when I was in elementary, this one girl had like the newest iPhone, and I was
Oh,
so
Lord.
mad.
I was going to say Deanna was in second grade.
Right?
Yeah. And I like was desperately trying to be her friend because she had a big party coming up and I wanted to go, and I knew she had a pool and she had an iPhone. So I'm trying to figure out what year
Had
that
it going
was.
on.
By contrast, I was trying to remember which WWDC I went to that they might have debuted the iPhone.
Oh.
We are
Oh,
not the
man.
same.
Nope.
Pick C, so Andy's locked out.
Okay, I'll do 2008.
All right, so that means we have one answer for every single one of these, which means I cannot be right. That was a crummy move there, Scooter.
Just
But
trying to do my part.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah, anytime.
The correct answer that Google Chrome, Spotify, the Apple App Store, and the first commercial Android phone were released in 2008. Deanna is correct.
Deanna!
Finally! Okay. Thank
Unfortunately,
God.
Deanna's logic is slightly off. The iPhone came out in 2007. It was the second iteration of their software in 2008 that they released the App Store. The iPhone did not release with the App Store or with the ability to copy and paste.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of what I was remembering. It was 07 that was the iPhone, but I couldn't remember if the iPhone and the store were separate or not. So
Yeah, but nice job, Deanna. And I don't know if that was what you were going to choose or what Scooter forced you to choose, but congratulations.
Thank you.
Got
I mean, I hate odd numbers, so I didn't want to choose 2007 anyway, but I knew it was going to be an earlier one.
Fair enough.
there you go. All right, so a couple of wrap-up questions for the two of you. If someone who's listening to us now is considering a career in IT support, what advice would you give them? Hannah, you want to go first?
Yeah, I think that if someone is considering a career in IT support, just try a little bit of everything. So, IT support is so wide, right? Like, there's such a variety of things that you could get into. There's cloud engineering, there's service desk, there's really a million different things. And so try a little bit of everything. So like if you wanted to try working with the service desk and partnering with a bunch of different areas on campus, we are always hiring for IT assistants. That's my little plug-in right there. But truly, just get your feet wet and try all of the different things and figure out what it is that you like, because it would be the worst thing ever to decide on one thing and realize that you hate it. So try a bunch.
Excellent. And Mike, leave us with one final thought about what you'd like the Notre Dame community to know about the people behind the service desk.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we mentioned this earlier that we are humans. So again, as we're interacting, as you're calling into the service desk, just knowing that there is a person on the other end of that. I think what often people don't realize is that that might be their only call into the service desk from their end, but knowing on the other side, it could be Deanna's 20th call that day. So just being cognizant of that and just remembering that we truly are here to help you, and we want to make sure that we give you the best customer support that we can.
Mike and Hannah, thank you both very much for joining us. It's really exciting to see how the service desk continues to grow. Like we said, when we had Chris on, a lot of these were ideas that were coming, and now they're here. And it's really exciting to see the two of you in these roles really trying to get everybody to adopt these new services and the new ways of supporting stuff. So we're going to be very excited to see where this continues to evolve and what we see in the next 2 years, and see if any of your 2-year predictions come true.
Thank you for having us. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been great. Thanks so much.
If you've got someone you'd like us to interview, just email those ideas to btspodcast@nd.edu. If there's anything else new, exciting, frustrating, or inspiring happening in your IT consultancy world, please share that with us too. We'd love to hear your insights and ideas.
Next time, we'll speak with Jeff Faust, IT Solutions Specialist and Team Lead of the Gold Team in IT Partnerships, who supports Notre Dame research. Until then, thank you for listening.
Thanks, everyone.
Signing off from behind the screens, IT at ND.
Stay tech savvy, Notre Dame.
This is Behind the Screens.